Hello to all the urbanists out there. Right now I'm having a classic Turin drink. It's about half drunk. This is called a biserin. And a biserin is chocolate, coffee, and some either whipped cream or heavy cream or milk, depends on where you go. And we are one of the oldest cafes, Cafe Musano, here in Torino. And underneath the porticos, which is very nice, writing some postcards. And I want to jump on the live. You can feel free to ask me anything that you would like, that you might be curious about, as I am sitting down chilling here in the beautiful Turin cafe, despite the graffiti right behind me. The cafe is actually gorgeous. And hello everyone, nice to see you here. Welcome. Hello Yogi, welcome, nice to see you here. Hello Pistol, hello everyone, welcome. And this drink is actually really good. This one's a tinier version. I had one that's a little bit bigger. Can't wait to have one more and see how it is. But cheers. Chocolate, coffee, and some whipped cream. What more can you ask for? Hot chocolate in Turin is actually really good. I'm actually quite stunned. Hello Emily, hello Kat, Yellow Ranger, hello Valerie, nice to see you here. Welcome everyone. Let me know where you're watching from as I'm enjoying a good coffee here in beautiful Turin. Wow. Tanya says, I'm going to Florence next month, inspired by you. Do you suggest getting the Firenze card for museums? Yes, I think the Firenze card is well worth it, and I do recommend it, for sure. I think the Firenze card, I got it when I visited Florence in 2021, and it covered a few of the museums. If not, it gave you a heavy discount on the museums. Usually, the cards in Italy are well worth it, so I do recommend getting them. Emily says, hey, Daniel, hey, nice to see you here. Yeah, especially if you're going to do a lot of sightseeing, the cards will be worth it. If you're hopping around from museum to museum, if you aim to maybe do more than 2 museums in one day, especially in a few days, you aim to do more than 2 museums per day or attractions, the local card that's a pass will be worth it in Italy. It's not always the case in every country, but in Italy, I've seen it worth it. Marina, nice to see you here. Charles, welcome. So feel free to ask me anything. Let me show you more around. Beautiful here, Turin. Hello, Kabi. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Hello, Pythagorean. Hey, man. Nice to see you here. He says, I missed a lot of your lives because I've been composing. That's fine. Incredibly well. Hey, I'm so glad you're composing. Mark says, I did ask something very important. This is not that type of live stream, Mark. Hey Ian, what is this place? This is called Cafe Musano in Turin. It's a cafe. I'm actually sat outside, so there's some graffiti behind me, but the actual cafe is gorgeous. Look at that. Wow, beautiful cafe. Tanya says, is it raining in Turin? No, it was raining the first 2 days I was here, pretty rough. So I didn't get really to enjoy Turin the first 2 days as much. But then later on, it's been sunny. So it's very sunny here in Turin right now, even though I'm underneath these porticos. Tanya says, I was debating back and forth. Yeah, don't think about it too much. Basically, if you do the math, you visit 2 museums or more, you'll be getting your money's worth with most museum passes. Just do the math. Just calculate what's the minimum amount of museums that will be worth the card. So if the card is €40, then see how many museums would be €40. Generally, that'll be 3 or 4 museums. Hey, FR says, hello, brother in Christ. You look rather dapper today. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How's the weather here? Sunny, but chilly. It's about 62 degrees Fahrenheit and humid, actually, which is very interesting. Hey, Freddie says, could you give me a synopsis of the main findings of your trip to Athens previously? There's a lot. You can watch my documentary series about Athens. But Athens, I would say, is a very easy city to visit. Athens, in terms of sightseeing, you only have about 3 days worth of sightseeing of like main big sites to see. Most of them being ruins and a few museums, and the museums are great. And the archaeological ruins are amongst the best you'll ever see in your life. I haven't gotten tired of them, even though I've been to Athens, Greece 4 or 5 times, more, been about 6 times to Athens. That said, I would say it is worth staying in Athens a few more days than that, because there's a few day trips opportunities. You can do organized day trips to the Peloponnese. You can also go on your own to Hydra, the island, which is gorgeous. If you want to get the Greek island experience without spending a bunch of money to go to Santorini or Mykonos, you can go to Hydra as a day trip from Athens. It's very easy to do so because the port is only a 13-minute taxi ride away, and that taxi ride costs about €10 to get to the port. The taxi leaves you almost right in front of the boat, which is kind of crazy. The boat itself is about €10 to €40, depends on what type of ferry you take, and it's only about an hour and a half ride. Just don't go during the season when the seas are rough. Hey, Chi says, outstanding content. No, I'm so happy. Patrick is tuning in from America. Nice to see you here. Tell Me a Secret says, do you speak Hebrew? No, I don't. She says, have an excellent day. I will. And Charles asked for one life advice. Ooh. One life advice. I would say take it easy. There's no hurry in life. Take it easy. A lot of people run through life thinking that it's a race, but it's not a race. You gotta enjoy it. You gotta live it. Don't force yourself to always do something. So Freddie, you want to experience more of the authentic Athens as opposed to just the touristy sites. Don't underestimate the touristy sites. They are worth it. They're some of the best in the world. I don't say that lightly because I've been to a lot of touristy sites. And admittedly, I'm here in Turin. I actually don't care too much about the touristy sites. I tried going to the museum today for the Egyptian museum. It was okay. It was fun. But I've seen a lot of Egyptian artifacts, luckily, in my life, like at the Met and other major museums, the British Museum. But when it comes to Athens, the real experience, yeah, I would recommend staying in an Airbnb in a local neighborhood. You can stay in Koukaki, which is a neighborhood that's right next to the Pantheon. It's still kind of local. It's still touristy. If you want to stay even more local, then stay in a neighborhood called Kypseli or stay in Exarchia. Exarchia used to have the reputation of being one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in all of Athens. That's no longer the case. It's a very fairly calm and vibrant neighborhood. Not calm. Calm in terms of safety, but vibrant neighborhood in terms of nightlife and restaurants and things to do. Michelle says hello from New Zealand. Hello from New Zealand. Tanya says, when are you moving to Italy? No plans to move to Italy yet. And Freddie says, I got calc exam on Tuesday. Hey, you're still fantasizing about Athens. I do hope you get to go to Athens. And Marion says, most of the European cultures are shaped by Greeks. That is indeed the case, ancient times, but of course European history is rather long, so there's a lot more to it. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Tammany says, any tourist scams to be aware about? In Turin, no. Turin has been the only Italian city that I've encountered the most beggars. No one trying to scam, but there's a lot of beggars, unfortunately. Not as much as New York, not as much as some other cities like in Eastern Europe or so, but definitely more beggars than Florence, than Venice, than Verona, than Rome. I'm kind of quite stunned by it. Freddie says that you should have 500,000 followers in a matter of days. I haven't posted that much content, so maybe if something blows up, it'll keep going that way. I'm 450,000, but gaining 50,000 followers is quite a feat on its own. Tom says, I enjoy your travels very much. And Susie, nice to see you here. Welcome. Hello, Michelle from New Zealand. Nice to see you here. Second Coming says, stay curious, my friends. Definitely. Binksy says, what's your travel destination? What's your ideal travel destination that you have been yet? Japan. Japan. There's a lot of content on Japan. So I've always dreamt of going to Japan, but also at the same time, I don't feel like it would be that worthy in terms of content, in terms of like work. But then again, maybe I should go to places in Japan that not so many tourists go to. So maybe like Okinawa. I'm very curious to see what tropical Japan looks like. Maybe the far north, Hokkaido, to see the most snowy parts of Japan. There's parts of Japan I really want to see. Another dream trip I would love to do is, I would love to see the Himalayas at least once in my life. Michael from the UK, welcome, nice to see you here. And welcome everyone. Mika says, buongiorno, buongiorno Mika. Chi, welcome. Pamela, welcome to the live video. Hey, Freddie says, I could foresee with your eloquent manner and friendly spirit, you should be there already to a million followers. Thank you so much, Freddie. I appreciate that. Documentation isn't easy, you know. It isn't, but a lot of people are doing it nowadays. But I'm glad you enjoy my style. Chris, I am in beautiful Turin, Torino, right now. In the porticos, in one of the older cafes in the city, having a chocolate coffee drink with a little bit of whipped cream. The whipped cream is almost gone. This is called the Bicerin. Susie says, have you tried any interesting desserts besides gelato? This. Hot chocolate in Turin is amazing. Absolutely delightful. I am really stunned. It's very thick, drinkable, not overly sweet, and also, to an extension, the whipped cream. So this drink, the Bicerin, B-E-R-C-I-N, is amazing. It's a local drink to Turin. Or try the hot chocolate. Cioccolata caldo, I think is pronounced. Beyond that, I would say I've had a lot of great desserts. Tiramisu, lots of tiramisu. I had Lots of great croissants. It's not a dessert, but it's a pastry. Lots of great croissants stuffed with pistachio. So further south in Italy, they usually call it cornettos. Up here, they call it la brioche, but it's basically a croissant. Meta says tag down yet. There's not that much graffiti in Turin. I'm just like right by the only graffiti in Turin. There's not that much. The cafe is gorgeous. Freddie says, how many euros was this? They're charging €7 for this, and that's because I'm in a touristy old cafe. If you go to one of the more normal cafes, Turin's not really that busy of a city, so you just walk 10 minutes any direction. You'll start seeing places a little bit more local. You'll spend maybe €5 on this. Emily says, we need some bench reviews from Japan. That's some high quality content. Indeed. George says, hello from Cyprus. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Justine says, hello. Is the drink somewhat spicy? No. So it's not like the chocolate from Mexico, which is spicy. And that's because Mexican hot chocolate, if it's not milk chocolate, is very, very dark, and chocolate on its own has a somewhat spicy quality to it, bitter quality to it. This chocolate is not really that bitter. It's not crazy sweet either. They just balanced it really well. Helena, nice to see you here. Hello, Justine. Welcome. Hey, Justine says, do they give you marshmallows? No, you won't find marshmallows in Italy. Marshmallows I haven't seen anywhere aside from America. And maybe in Britain, but Britain, I think they're just doing the American thing. I have not seen really marshmallows outside of America, really. Is €7 reasonable for Turin? For a drink like this, no, it's a bit on the expensive side. By not too much. Susie says, is it better than Nesquik? Yes, by far. And Jay says, cheers. And Justine says, here in Oz, they give you marshmallow. Oh, interesting, Australia. Oh, interesting, yeah. Now I do remember having the cold coffee. I forgot what they call it. The cold brew, I think they call it in Australian coffee shops, which is the coffee made with chocolate and marshmallows. All right, I'll stick around for 2 more minutes. Ask me any questions you're curious about. That's so good. Hello, Saladini from South Florida. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Chris says, what country is this? Turin is in Italy. It's northern Italy in the region of Piedmont. ABCD says, what do you do? This, I make videos about history, architecture, urbanism. Do you keep a budget on a spreadsheet or just wing it? Susie, I don't budget. I wing it. I wing it. I always have a sense, like I have a general sense of if I'm overspending or not. Italy is quite interesting. I am eating out quite often. But even then, I'm still spending a little bit less than I would in New York. In New York, if I don't eat out, if I eat takeout food, and just live my normal life, do my normal videos in New York, I would be spending more than I am here in Italy, eating out every single day in restaurants. It's kind of crazy. So New York is extremely expensive nowadays. Eating out is, as solo dining, you'll be spending €80 more, €90. $80. Dining out with my girlfriend, for example, or with someone else, a friend or a family member, it ends up going to $150. Even at the most casual restaurants, to have a pasta and some wine. So it is insanely expensive in New York. Obscenely so, I think, nowadays. Eating out is no longer really a pleasure. So I tend to, in New York, not go out as much, maybe go out once or twice a week. And then I'm buying takeout from these fast casual places. And even then, I'm spending more than I am here in Italy. So that's kind of a stark difference. And that's why I don't budget. I would need to budget if I were to go to Denmark, which is very expensive, or Switzerland, which I found to be expensive when I went there briefly for a day. Does New York have better restaurants or Italy? Italy. New York has the one plus of being very multicultural. You'll find great quality foods from all around the world in New York. So if you want really good quality Chinese from China, you'll find great Chinese food. If you want great Chinese American, you'll find great Chinese American. If you want great Japanese, you'll find great Japanese. You'll find great sushi, great Japanese comfort food, great ramen. If you want great Italian style pizza. If you want Neapolitan style pizza, you'll find that in New York. You'll find Roman pizza, etc. You'll find great foods from all around the world in New York. But the downside of New York now is it's very expensive to eat out. So it's not really that pleasurable, at least in my opinion, to spend upwards of $150 for dining for two people, and you're not even getting that much food and maybe one drink. Not even a bottle of wine. So I'm not really much of a fan anymore of New York dining. And then the other downside of New York dining is it's always super full. Nowadays, especially in Manhattan and parts of northern Brooklyn, you have to make reservations or you have to wait in line because the places are so tiny, things are so packed. We don't even have that many restaurants compared to Italy. So I think that's why I like Italy. Italy, you still have to reserve and plan ahead sometimes for food, but the food is way less expensive, tends to be higher quality, almost universally. If you're not in the middle of Rome or you're not in the middle of Florence, there's great food almost everywhere in these cities. In Turin, I went to a random restaurant yesterday spontaneously. It was rated 4.3 out of 10 on Google Maps, and it was amazing. Did the same thing in Verona, did the same thing in Arezzo. Great food all around. And you're not spending an arm and a leg, which I think ultimately is the best part of Italian dining. And then the other thing is there's just great quality local food. So I've eaten out a lot this past month here in Italy. And I've not been bloated. I barely have had any gas, any acid reflux, which has happened to me, unfortunately. I have not felt tired or lethargic after eating, which happens to me way more often in New York and the US. It's quite a stark difference. Freddie says, I attempted to make fettuccine Alfredo the authentic way, but it tasted bland without spices. It's because the authentic fettuccine Alfredo is bland. It doesn't really have much flavor because there's just butter and pasta. So yeah, the original fettuccine is rather bland. It's not going to be very flavorful. The only thing that can make a difference is black pepper. And black pepper, the black pepper in Italy tends to be way more flavorful because they find better black pepper. In the US, if you want to find a really good quality black pepper that actually has flavor, because American typical black pepper that you get at major supermarkets, that's usually in the little bottles in most restaurants, is bland. It's almost tasteless compared to the black pepper you have in a normal Italian restaurant, in like France and other countries. So to find good black pepper, go to like a specialty market, go to like a Whole Foods, buy yourself a really good black pepper. Trader Joe's has good offerings on black pepper. Go to a spice store if you have a local place that specializes in spices. Buy yourself a good black pepper, and that'll make a big difference in your pastas when making them at home. Hey, Freddie says, good outfit choice. Thank you so much, Freddie. I appreciate that. I'm glad you think it's a good outfit choice. I bought these shirts here in Italy. You can get a house for $1 in remote Italy. Yes, you can. Saya says, great to see you live. Used to watch a lot of your videos when they first came out. Hey, I'm so glad you did. Yeah, YouTube is kind of like dying out with live video. It's not as fun as it used to be because there's like less people that watch. I used to get like hundreds of people tuning in at the same time. Maybe I have to give a new platform a try, like Kick or something like that. Tanya says, considering this is off-season for tourists, has it been reasonably busy? Depends on where. Turin is not busy. Turin is rather surprisingly empty. Turin is a weird city in that regard. It's a beautiful city, but it's a city of 1 million people. It's among the biggest, I think top 5 or 6 cities in Italy. It should be like the 4th biggest city in Italy, or 5th. And it's empty. Like there's areas of Turin I just don't see anyone. So I am kind of shocked. So Turin has been very easy to visit. Florence, on the other hand, was packed 2 weeks ago when I went. Super full, lots of people. But then I also went to Arezzo and Orvieto. Pretty empty, pretty chill. Verona, a lot of tourists as well. Not as packed as Florence, but still a lot of tourists. So it really does depend. Freddie says, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to recommend you Kick or Twitch. Yeah, Twitch I barely get views, but I see these live streamers get big on Kick. So maybe Kick is the future of live streaming. Matrix says, how's it going? I'm doing very well, Matrix. Thank you so much for asking. How much does a coffee with milk cost in Turin? If you get yourself a macchiato, which is espresso with a bit of milk, 1 shot of espresso, you'll spend about €140 to about €2. Usually €140 around there. And then if you end up getting a cappuccino, about €160, €170. So you'll be spending less than €2 for most coffee with milk drinks. They'll be short though. So if you order a double, the maximum you'll be spending is about €4. Freddie says YouTube is better for short and long form content. Live streaming seems to do best on streaming platforms. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. You know, I think if YouTube put more emphasis on live streaming, it could be it used to be really magical because I can live stream in HD. The videos save with the name, with the comments. So these videos are great for replays because people can watch them later and experience a Turin or a Venice or Florence for an hour or 2 hours, knowing that this was live and it's uncut, no edits, and I think it's great. I think it's great for the YouTube platform. And then the fact that people can watch it live. YouTube is such a big platform. I think they should emphasize live video, but they don't. They're emphasizing vertical live video now, which is why I'm getting more views than usual. Hey, Robafet says, for someone who's been traveling for a month, you still look immaculately dressed. I would not look like that for a month. Well, I'm not traveling like crazy. I am staying in each individual city for like a week or 2 or 3. So I'm not like hopping around a lot. And then the second thing is, I do wash my clothes because I stay in Airbnbs that have washing machines. And then the other thing is, I actually bought new clothes. So I bought this shirt recently. I bought it just yesterday. So that's the key to looking well dressed. But usually it's buying clothes that kind of you don't need too much maintenance, and that actually look better with more wears. This is something that if you buy like clothes that are synthetic materials like polyester and nylon, or like sweatpants are made out of polyester or something like that, it's gonna look very raggedy the more you use it. So I would not recommend. I would recommend wearing more natural materials like cotton, wool, or linen if it's summer, or silk if you want to go all out. Wear more natural materials. Make sure they're 100% natural. This is 100% cotton. I bought this jacket in France, in Paris. Great company. This shirt is 100% cotton. If you buy fully natural clothing, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Sometimes it is, but it doesn't have to be. Like this shirt cost me 19 euro. This jacket is a bit more expensive. I spent 200 euro on this. But if you buy good quality clothes, natural materials, generally you'll look more put together than buy a bunch of polyester and a bunch of nylon. And the thing is, especially if you're in the US or Canada, you're going to encounter way more clothes that's made from synthetic materials. Even a shirt like this could have polyester. A jacket like this could be just pure polyester. That would be my top recommendation. Avoid synthetic materials, go for natural. Meta says, go to the Thailand beaches, all you need is shorts. Tanya says, I love live streaming so much. GN says, where's Kira? Hey, GN. GN's asking about my girlfriend, Kira. She's back to her daily life. She joined me for a short portion of my trip. She's back to her daily life. And I'll be seeing her again soon. But yes, she just joined me for a portion of my trip, which was 2 weeks. And am I missing your Airbnb reviews? I have not posted them. Let me know, are you guys still interested in my Airbnb reviews? Would you still want to see the reviews of my hotels and Airbnbs? I have filmed them, so I just haven't posted them. I've stayed in 5, so let me know. When are you visiting Israel? I would love to go. Actually, that's another dream destination. I've always wanted to go to Jerusalem and learn more about the history of Jesus and Christianity. Not right now. There's a lot of hardship that's happening in Israel and that region of the world. So once things cool down, and hopefully they do cool down, I would be more than happy to go. Mr. Wilson says, where are you right now? I'm in beautiful Turin, Italy. Right by a gorgeous cafe right over here. Mena says, I've been to Israel several times. I ran into issues with Islamicists close to a mountain. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's tough. Matrix X says, do you know what's going on with Mary Jane? She's not been on YouTube for half a year. Will you meet her if she's in Italy? I would love to meet up with Mary Jane. She's we are unable to meet because she's not in the area close to me. What is going on with her? I have hung out with her. Last time I really hung out with her was 2 months ago? June. Actually, quite a while ago. Well, time has flown by. So it's been 4 months. But she's doing well. She's reevaluating what she's doing on YouTube. I'll let her do more. I'll let her speak for herself at some point, but that's basically what I got the gist from. She told me more, but that's basically what I feel comfortable sharing with all of you guys. She's reevaluating what to do on YouTube, and I think she's in the right direction. It's tough, YouTube is tough. Sometimes the algorithms change quite a lot, so type of content that was very enjoyable to make suddenly doesn't get that many views, and it becomes kind of bummer to try to make content. So with Mary Jane, it was like these travel vlogs. People are just not watching that many travel vlogs anymore. And then now on my end, live streaming, I'm not getting that many views with live streaming as I used to. It's a bit saddening, to be honest, because live streaming is nice when there's like a lot of people tuning in. It's like doing a live performance. It's awesome when there's a big crowd. Tanya says, that must be nice to have a partner with you on your adventures. Yes, I gotta admit, it is very, very nice. And I had some beautiful learnings about traveling with a partner. Because part of me always fantasized also about traveling with a partner for a long period of time. But I realized it's awesome traveling with a partner, but at the same time, I still love my solo travel, so it's nice to have both. So this trip, I did both. I did my own solo traveling, which I'm very grateful for because I got to focus on my videos, I got to focus on learning about these places, and then it was awesome doing a trip with my significant other because I was able to enjoy a beautiful time with them and really get to explore in a different way. Bill says, you look so relaxed. I am very relaxed. Vita says, love your live streams, but on the West Coast it's a 9-hour difference. Yeah, that is the other trickiness. Matrix says, glad to hear that Mary Jane is doing well. Do greet her next time you see her. Yes, I will. I will, Matrix. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll convince her to come on one of my live streams. Cristo says, will you be there in the next days in Roma? No, my trip is coming to a close. Susie says, yes, I've been waiting for your Airbnb videos. Oh, you have. Okay, I'll start posting them. Live streaming is the best. You can share your sadness and happiness with others, says Matrix. That's right. Freddie says, imagine this, you have 1 million followers in your hand. It's like if each individual follower are 1 millimeter and your goal is 1 kilometer. With patience, it will come. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Matrix says, in Croatia, a large macchiato is about €160. I thought it was expensive here. I forgot how much the same coffee comes to New York City. Yeah, New York City is way more expensive for coffee. New York City for a macchiato, which would be 2 shots of espresso with a little bit of milk, you'll usually get charged now about $4.50 minimum and about $6 nowadays. John says, you're doing a fantastic job. I spent a few days in Turin last year with my son, and we went to watch a Juventus game, and I visited the main museums. Susie says, just do a compilation Airbnb video. Susie, you kind of read my mind. I actually have been tempted to do that compilation video, just all the amazing all the Airbnbs I've stayed at, rather than post each single video. Freddie says, I just realized that the live stream is very much delayed, like 5 minutes. I think the delay is less. I think the delay, there is more delay than I'm used to. There used to be a very little delay. I think the delay now is about a minute. Meta says an Americano costs $4.50 here. Yeah, it's obscene. It's obscene. It is truly obscene. A cafe Americano here in Italy, anywhere in Italy, double shot would cost you €2.30, €2.40. Gian says, where to next? Ooh, stay tuned. Matrix says, are you planning to visit Croatia soon? I was actually very tempted to do some Croatia, but yeah, I actually was stunned that it's doable to train ride from Italy to Croatia, and then later on to like Bosnia. So I'm very tempted. Susie says, go to someplace cold next. The Alps are so close. The Alps are so close, but there's no direct trains to any of these alpine cities, which is a bit of a shame. I wanted to go to the city of Aosta. I don't quite have time to do it, and it was about a 2-hour journey, but the thing is it involved a bus, and I don't always feel comfortable relying on the bus, especially in Italy. Italy, I feel comfortable just riding trains. But bus, I feel like I'm taking some risk, not too much risk, but some risk. So yeah, I don't always feel comfortable just so I couldn't reach the alpine cities for this trip, but I'm very close. I could have technically gone to Chamonix, France by public transportation. I would just had to stay in one of the alpine cities like Aosta, and then I would have just hopped around from Aosta, taken like the cable car up to one of the peaks, taken the gondola, gone over to Mont Blanc, and then down to Chamonix. Do you enjoy any wild boar bolognese? I did a lot in Tuscany, Vita. So the best bolognese I had in all of the best region for food in Italy, in my opinion, is by far Tuscany. The second best region in Italy after Tuscany for food would have to be, I would say, Veneto, which is where Verona and Venice are located. Venice is not so interesting, but Verona had great food. Phil says, apples or pears? Actually, would rather eat a pear than an apple. Gian says, you spend so much time in Italy. Are you moving there? No plans to move here. I don't envision myself living in Italy. No, I love Italy. It's a gorgeous country. There's so much great food and great vibes and interesting people. It's truly a wonderful country. I just don't envision myself living here. Okay, we're having a good conversation. Let me know if you want me to stick around a little bit longer. I can order another drink. Matrix says Croatia and Bosnia are beautiful. Trains in Croatia and Bosnia are quite slow. It's faster to travel by bus. Ah, good to hear. Good to hear. It's similar to Greece. Mindful says, your content is amazing. It's a window to seeing the world and learning about history and culture. Hey, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much, Mindful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, people are demanding I stick around. So I will. Let me order another hot chocolate because it's so good. Have you been to south of Italy? Actually, that's one of my bigger regrets on this trip. While I do enjoy the north, and I'm glad I came, and these cities are gorgeous, I just feel like they're lacking in the energy that I would have seen in the south. Yeah, these cities in the north are a bit more quieter. Genoa had a good and very interesting energy right in the center, but once you left the center, it got much quieter. So I think I would have enjoyed more of the energy of a Calabria or a Puglia or visiting Naples again. So when I do come back to Italy, because I'll come back at some point, I'll definitely be just going to the south instead. And Italian culture, what's your concern about? In terms of moving, I just don't really vibe too deeply with Italian culture. It's definitely pleasant. It's nice. There's a lot of things to admire about Italian culture, for sure, 100% actually. But my personal feeling is I don't feel like I would belong here. I would have to spend a lot of time in Italy to feel like I would belong, which is okay, because you can't expect every country to be immediately connecting with the country. But for me personally, I connect way more with Greece than I ever would with Italy. So I would live in Greece. I would live in Paris, not because I connect with the French, but just because it's such a big city that you meet everyone and anyone from around the world. But in terms of culture, Greece is the one I really connect with. And then I really did enjoy my time in Berlin. I went to spend a bit more time in Berlin, but I did vibe with German culture as well. But Italian culture is great visiting. I just don't envision myself living, because I think Italians, you have to know the language to really connect with Italians. You have to really get to know them. And the sense of humor is different. It's a sense of humor I still don't really understand. I haven't been able to crack a smile. I haven't been able to get a joke. Really too many jokes through with chatting with random Italians. I do have some Italian friends, and even then with my dear Italian friends, we're not laughing our asses off. It's just because Italian humor is different, and it's humor that just don't intuitively know. But I do with the Greeks, and I do with other cultures like Mexico and Ireland, so for sure. And then parts of England as well. Brown Eyed Girl, nice to see you here, welcome. And Neptune Sir says, living the life we all dream of. Any chance of visiting the Lavazza Museum? Lavazza Museum. I am tempted to go to the Lavazza Museum for sure. Let me know if you think it's worth it. And Tanya says, we demand you stay. Is there a language problem in Italy? No. Proficiency in English is pretty high. It's way higher than it was even. I first came to Italy in 2014. Way higher than even 2014. A lot of people here speak English, and even if they don't, they'll know enough words so you can like do the basic things that you would do in Italy, like go to a restaurant, a bar, a museum, a landmark, take a bus, public transportation. You'll always have enough English to get by. Most people will have enough English to get by those things. To get to know the locals, that's where Italian is more necessary. Susie says, I personally don't understand the concept of leaving the US to live elsewhere. Why is that, Susie? Why is that? I think once you get to traveling, then the appetite might grow. Have you been to Bologna? I did, Tanya. I went to Bologna. It was amazing. I have 2 live streams from Bologna. Giorgio says, you must pronounce it bicerin. It has the same origin as the word pitcher. Oh, interesting. It means little glass ambientes. Oh, interesting. Hope you plan to go to India someday. Maybe I will. And Ariel, I have a few places for you to try in your last video in the comments. Wonder if you saw them. Oh, here in Turin? No, have not seen them yet. Let me know what video it was. Giva says, are Italians welcoming to tourists? I would say nice. Welcoming, not particularly. I don't mean that as an insult. It's just a different culture. Some cultures will be welcoming. The Greeks are welcoming. The English, not so much. But I love the English. The French are not welcoming. And maybe not always nice. So it really does depend on the culture. The Germans are not welcoming, but they are nice. So in Italy, it's more that. It's not welcoming, but it's nice. I think you'll get a more of a warmer welcome if you use a few words in Italian, for sure. And I think dress does have a big importance. If you're dressed a bit more elegantly, more Italian, then I think you will generally get a better reception than you would if you were to wear a hoodie with some sweatpants and some Air Jordans. That's just going to be the case here. And that's why some Americans, when they come here, might perceive Italy to be very unwelcoming. And that perception most likely is due to the way you're dressed, the way you're acting, because in Italy the level of speaking is way lower than it is in the US. So in a restaurant, if you're speaking at a very high level, it's seen as rude, it's seen as intrusive. So you might get worse service at a restaurant just due to even your level of your volume of speaking. And it's not, don't take it personally, because it's a cultural difference. Hey, Decolonization says, tengo un amigo que vive en la costa de Amalfi. I have a friend who lives in the coast of Amalfi. My favorite es el lugar mío favorito. Me encantaría volvería ahí. No he estado en mucho tiempo. I love the Amalfi Coast. I would love to go back. Decolonización, qué bien que te encantó la costa de la Amalfi. A mí me encantó también. Yo fui hace 3 años, 2021. Y era increíble. Y sí, me gustaría volver. Pero más me gustaría volver a Nápoles, porque Nápoles es una ciudad bien increíble, con mucha vida y es bien caótico. A mí me encantó. Chocolate caldo?
Sì?
Sì, grazie.
In arrivo.
Wow, nice to see you here. Welcome to the live stream. Tanya says they say Bologna is a food heaven. Yes, it is. Bologna is an incredible food city. Great bolognese and lasagna, for sure. Brown Eagle says it was your last Turin video in the comments. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you, I'll look back and see it. You'll find less English in the south, like in Calabria, says Vita. Yes, I can imagine. Spider says, instead of tiramisu, in Turin, try the brunettes. Okay, will do. Thank you. The decibel level at Bragos, LA was ridiculous, says Meta. You're talking about Los Angeles? Yeah, Los Angeles, in general in the US, the volume is way higher. It's quite a stark difference because after spending a lot of time in Italy or other similar countries where the level of speaking, the volume of speaking is way lower, going back to like New York and you're going to a restaurant, it's so loud you can barely hear the person right across of you. Is quite a stark difference. Buongiorno, grazie mille. So right here, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. So right here, we're at Cafe Mulafasno. Mulafsano. And right here is a hot chocolate. Look at that. Oh my god. That has a little skin on top because it's so hot. Oh, I'm so excited. Tanya says your Italian must be improving. It is. I actually feel like if I spend a few more months here, I would be able to pick up Italian. Yeah, I already got the niceties and the general ordering kind of down. Oh wow. Similar to the Bicerin, which is coffee with chocolate and a little bit of whipped cream. The chocolate is not too sweet. Mi dispiace. It's not too sweet. It's not too sweet. It's a little bit not too bitter. It's just right. It's so well balanced. It's very thick. Oh, so good. Oh my. How's the weather today? It is sunny and beautiful. It's gorgeous. I'm just feeling a bit, I came here to Turin and actually I had this feeling in the previous city as well, Genoa. Just felt a little bit like, a bit lazy. A bit like, I don't want to do too much. And at first I felt rather guilty about it. I was like, I should be doing a lot of work. I should be doing more things. I should hustle and make a bunch of videos. And maybe some of the viewers out there might not enjoy what I'm saying, because some of you do want a lot of content, of course. I feel you. But at first I was feeling that. I was like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I wasn't feeling it. I came here to Turin. It's a gorgeous city. I just didn't feel like doing too many of the touristy things. I just didn't feel like exploring too much. And about early yesterday, I realized, like, wait a minute, I don't need to feel this way. It's okay to take it easy. It's okay to be a little bit leisure. It's okay to be a bit, lazy is not a good word, leisurely. Susie said it right. It's okay to be a little bit leisurely. And it doesn't mean that I'm like bored of the destination. It just means that what a more beautiful place to be leisurely than Turin. I am so grateful that I'm being leisurely here. It would not I would not have it any other way. So yes, I could be sightseeing like crazy right now. I could be going to really far off places here in Turin, hopping between all the museums and the landmarks, checking out the grand palaces, checking out all the squares, going up to the basilica in the mountainside. But I don't want to. I just want to sit down, drink the hot chocolate, and do a live video chatting. And yeah, that means unfortunately a little bit less content for today, but sometimes it's worth the sacrifice. Wow. Oh my God. This is divine. All right, the cafe's starting to get packed. I'm gonna linger around for a little bit longer, but not too long because I'm monopolizing these seats. Hey, when are you back in New York City? Ooh, stay tuned. Stay tuned, Picard. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Is this your last day in Turin? Yes, it is. Yes, it's my last day in Turin. It is so divine. So divine. This is one of the better hot chocolates I've had. I have some amazing hot chocolates in my life, but it's not common because I don't like milk. The only other two hot chocolates I've had that are amazing in my life, maybe three, but two. I would say two. France gets an honorable mention. Angelina Cafe in Paris. It's very good. But really, the only two other hot chocolates that have won my heart is in Madrid. Madrid is one of my least favorite cities in all of Europe, but they have an amazing hot chocolate. They have the best. It's like this, super thick, just right amount of milkiness, very little milk, not too sweet. Theirs is just a bit thicker because I think it's meant for dipping. And then the other one is in Mexico City. Mexico City was amazing, but it's way bitter. Mexico City is a different type of hot chocolate. Mexico City is a true punch of bitter, dark chocolate. But it's also amazing. So these are the three best places to have chocolate so far that I've been to. Turin, Madrid, and Mexico City. Hixa says, isn't that just chocolate? I don't think so. I think it has a little bit of milk in it, but very little. Or maybe cream, but it has to have some dairy. It's not pure hot chocolate, dark chocolate like it is in Mexico. Otherwise, it will be very bitter and kind of spicy. Wendy says, has the Italy days come to an end? It's close to an end. I think I have one more epic live stream coming. But yeah, it's pretty much to an end. Brownlee Girl says, seriously, embrace these moments. Tread lightly and leave no trace. That's right. That's right, Brownlee Girl. Marianne says, so enjoying your leisurely chat. Yeah. I'm so glad so many people are tuning in. Feel free to ask me literally anything. Anything, even beyond travel. Feel free to ask me anything. I don't answer too many personal questions, but feel free to ask me anything else. Any big questions also. Paola says, hello fellow urbanists, what a cup of bicerin. Says bicerin, I think it's pronounced, with the hard C. It says, Paola, I had a bicerin, now I'm having pure hot chocolate. I love the bicerin so much that I just want more chocolate. Enjoy, it's delicious. They said it was created by Camillo Benso, the Count of Cavour, who was the president of the Council of Ministers of the Kingdom of Italy. Ooh. Paola, I hope you're doing well. I wish I was more time in Florence so we could have had an aperitivo. Hopefully I'll come back again. I will come back again. But I hope you're doing well. Hey, Brownlee Girl says, how many people do you know who are living their best life traveling around Europe vlogging on the regular like this and doing what they love. You see them on YouTube, for sure. People I know personally, it's funny, I've personally met Nas Daily twice. If you're a Facebook, especially if you're on Facebook, you'll know who he is. But he's on all the platforms. He has tens of millions of followers at this point. So I met him twice. I don't really know him, but I briefly met him. And it's funny because he does travel content, but he definitely won't be doing this. This is not something a Nas Daily would be sitting down enjoying a nice hot chocolate in a European city. He barely has covered Europe. From my personal friends, Mary Jane, what if she Mary Jane would be doing something similar. I'm sure of it. Action Kid gets to travel a lot. He's done more and more travels. And yeah, I don't know too many others personally. I've seen them on YouTube, but I don't know too many other personally people. And then it's not that many people who travel the same way I do. I'm kind of I'm a slow traveler, and then I'm a traveler who's not afraid of leisure time. I've gone through this many times before where I'm like, oh, I should be sightseeing like crazy and seeing all the sights and making a bunch of videos and researching and interviewing people and blah, blah, blah. Or even if in the tourist sense, I should be just going to all the landmarks. Or I should be going to these day trips or doing these tours. But I don't feel like it. And I've gone through that many times before my travel journeys. In Greece, I love traveling all through Greece. There was moments where I was doing a bunch of sightseeing and videos, but there was a few moments, especially towards the end of my trip, September of 2023, where I just sat down at the cafes and had a Freddo espresso for like 2 hours and did not much. And I think that's a beautiful part of life, is leisure. Some people travel purely for leisure. They go to like the beach resorts. But I think there's beautiful leisure to be had in the big cities as well. You don't need to just go to a beach, which can be beautiful, to relax. You can go to Paris or Turin or Bologna or Berlin and have a leisure time. Relax, sit at the bars, the cafes. It's not so easy to do that in the US, unfortunately, because the US does not have too many opportunities for leisure that doesn't involve spending a lot of money. In the US, I cannot sit at a cafe as long as I am right now. I've not been asked once by a waiter, like, oh, how are you doing? Can we get you anything? Not once. I've been to a bunch of restaurants. I've been to a bunch of restaurants here in Italy, and almost never have I been asked, ooh, can we get you anything? Are you done with that? Are you still eating? And it's beautiful. It truly is beautiful. I think that's the beauty of Europe. I'm not too optimistic I would find this in so many other countries around the world. This level of leisureness in major cities. I think it is truly European. There might be some other parts of the world that might have it, but I think it's truly a European thing. To sit down cafes for long periods of time, relaxing, and it's truly beautiful. And so yeah, that's why I would recommend going to Europe. Bronico says, however, when you travel, the storytelling approach behind your live stream, vlogging, or your shorts make a world of difference, not just walking the streets wherever you are. Viewers appreciate this. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah. I love telling stories even when I don't have a story to tell. More free, nice to see you here. Welcome. Duncan says, good morning from Canada. Relaxing under the sun in the benches is amazing. Nature says you're a fiesta traveler. Have you been to Puglia, says Lala. No, not yet. That is my one regret on this Italian trip. I have not gone to the south of Italy. I enjoy the north, but I wish I would have gone to the south. Because the south, at least Naples and Capri, had this kind of such an intense, chaotic energy that it's perfect for live streaming. It's perfect for videos. These quieter cities, they are nice, but it's not so interesting to live stream from. They're nice to chill though. Any chance you're going to Portugal? I would love to go to Portugal. And I think I might in the very near future. Susie says, I can sit in the Pret-a-Manger for an hour though. Kat says, will we see Kira again? Yes, you will see Kira again at some point in my live videos, yes. She's back to her regular daily life right now, so she's not with me at the moment. Erica says, what cafe are you at? I'll show you. Duncan says, I hate crowded, chaotic spaces. Yes. So that's another thing to keep in mind if you're traveling, and especially if you have the pleasure, the ability, the privilege to travel for a bit of a longer time. Keep in mind that some cities are very chaotic and high energy and require a lot more kind of socializing, and then there's other cities that are way more quieter, relaxed, and almost introspective. So it does depend on the location, especially when it comes to major cities. If you want a quiet trip, you don't just need to go to. Your only option is not just the beach. If you want a quiet vacation, you can go to big cities for a quiet vacation, but it's not all big cities are created equal. So Turin and a few of the cities in the north of Italy are definitely way more quieter. Turin for sure is among the more quieter of the cities, of the big cities I've been to in Italy. Naples is the more chaotic. Rome is a close second. And then this applies to countries all around Europe. So London is going to be chaotic, busy, lots of stuff happening. But if you go to Manchester, more chill. Ireland, if you go to Dublin, pretty busy. Lots of things happening. Galway as well, pretty busy and lots of things happening. But if you go to Kilkenny, or you go to some of the smaller cities like Cork, it's a bit quieter, a bit more chill. But Fahrenheit says, Mr. Fahrenheit says, is Paris a good honeymoon destination? Yes. I would say yes, for sure. So, good honeymoon destinations. I would say Paris is a good either first stop or last stop on the honeymoon. If you're going to do a European honeymoon, don't just do one big city like Paris, because it's not quite. I think you can heighten the romance by going to multiple cities or multiple locations. do a one big city. And Paris probably is the top of romance. Rome probably close second. If you don't quite want to go to those two cities, you could go to like a Venice or Verona. Verona is right by Venice, right by Milan, so you could do day trips. Or you can go to, I would not go to the UK for honeymoon, personally. Greece, I would not go to Athens for a honeymoon either. Because Athens is gorgeous, but it's not really romantic. So I would say Paris, Nice in south of France, Rome, or Venice/Verona. Yeah, those are the big city recommendations for romance. And then I would go to one of the Greek islands, which you could fly to from some of these big cities. So you could go from like Paris, I think, to Santorini. I think it's doable. So you could go to Santorini. You could go to Naxos, Greece. Naxos is probably the best of the Greek islands, where you don't need to spend an arm and a leg. You got beautiful, gorgeous beaches, and it is very romantic. It could be very romantic to stay in Naxos. And I would go Capri, if you want to stay in Sorrento. Sorrento is very romantic, close to Naples. You could go to the Amalfi Coast, you could go to Capri, and those will be very romantic trips. So that's my top tips for honeymoons in Europe. Matrix says, have you seen the Shroud of Turin? No, the Shroud of Turin is not publicly displayed. It is very rarely it's very rarely publicly displayed. It was publicly displayed, I think, about 20 years ago, or a little bit less than that, and millions of people went to see it. They haven't displayed it in years. There's talks that it might be displayed next year, but yeah, it's not feasible to see the Shroud of Turin. Nice is somehow similar to Turin urbanistically, with one big difference. Prague. That is very good, astute observation. So Turin is very similar to Nice in the terms of its larger streets, wider boulevards, a grid. The big difference is that Nice has an old town. Turin, not so much. Turin really doesn't have an old medieval town. Nice does. So Nice, you have a good combination of both worlds. You have kind of the very straight, wide boulevards and gridded streets and spaciousness. Plus, you have the very tight, dense, narrow old town. Have you visited Valentino Park? No, I have not, Mauro. Where is that, Valentino Park? Is it here in Turin? Hey, Jay says, looks very artsy. Well, a beautiful cafe. It's like, this is one of the few places you see graffiti in Turin, actually. I like your video in Genoa. I am now in Parma. Parma, I also wish I would have visited Parma, but I did not go. But Genoa was very interesting. Genoa was very surprising. Matrix says, you have to drink and eat slowly. One should not sit at an empty table. That's why we all have drink large coffees with milk. This can be drunk in an hour. Yes, you could do that with the American coffee shop, but once you go to a restaurant or any type of table service, America, you can't really chill. It's very rare. Maybe diners, maybe some very old school places, but not very common. And Chris says, I learn a lot from your travels. Hey, Chris, I'm so glad you learned from my travels. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. And, let's see, we got a few more. Brown Eyed Girl says, I personally feel your live streaming abroad is awesome. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think so. I'm really happy you think so, actually. Paola says, I wait in Florence whenever you come. Perhaps you can book my Airbnb. I would love that. That's awesome to hear, Paola. And Susie says, are you back to the boring hellscape of New York City? We'll call it a hellscape. That's a bit of an overstatement. Where are you going to next, says Camilla? Stay tuned. But my Italy trip is nearing an end. Francesco says, sorry to ask, you don't need to answer. Are you gay or are you bi? I transcend sexuality. Alexander says, Valentina Park is on the hill area across the river. Ah, cool. I feel like I'm here in Italy, says Beach Bum. Oh, so glad. All right, I'm nearing the end of this hot chocolate. I appreciate everyone tuning in. We had a nice long conversation. I'm actually kind of shocked. It has been a while since I've done a long sit-down live stream where I'm just like chilling and drinking, not coffee in this case, but like a chocolate. Mark says, you've been sitting there for a while. I have. No one bothers me. It's beautiful. It's the best thing one can ask for. I'm sitting here for an hour. Sometimes you have people sitting here for a few hours. When I was traveling with Kira in Arezzo in Tuscany, we were sitting in restaurants for like 3 hours. No one said anything. Camille says, what about a philosophical chat? Well, basically this one was a philosophical chat done spontaneously. Should I do an official one? Let me know. Nicola says, hello, Nicolas, nice to see you here. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. It's nice you're having a good time. That hot chocolate looked good. It really did, Mark. I highly recommend coming to this cafe. Turin is a quieter city, so if you have time in Italy, it is a nice city to visit. I would recommend it more as a day trip from Milan, but it is a very nice city to visit. And I appreciate that so many people love all these videos about Italy and about traveling around the world. That's awesome to see that people are enjoying my live streams, my documentaries, my short videos. Do be sure to watch my documentary on coffee. Adam says, your hair looks darker in Italy. Not sure why. Yeah. Not sure. I guess it's just thicker. I just had more hair, and then my beard is thicker. But I'm so glad people have enjoyed. Watch my coffee documentary. It's on YouTube. Go to the videos tab. You'll find the coffee documentary right there. What's the name? How New York City Coffee Changed the World. That's the name of the documentary. And then go and check out my other documentaries like the Athens Urbanist. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome. And always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Arrivederci, amici.